Go ahead.
Hey, bro, what's up?
What, you clowns? What do y'all want? Unlogical and friggin' Baldy. What?
Baldy, huh?
Yes, Baldy. Baldy, the apostate Sigyn man. You know who Sigyn is.
Hey,
You Sigyn man. You's an
more-
apostate from Islam, and you're
more
coming out
to
on this
shine.
show talking mad junk.
More to
But I'm
reflect
here
the
any
light
day
of
you
the
want to
sun,
talk.
girlfriend.
Any day. This is like
Any day?
Hey, April,
one
can I ask
and
you
only
something?
true God and Jesus
Any
Christ.
day.
April, I
Who
want to
was
ask you
created
something.
from what? That's what Jesus was created. Jesus is the Son of
April.
Man.
All right.
Are you
Son of
wife
man.
number 3 or 4? How many
Created
wives
from
does
a
your Auzu billahi Muhammad Rajim.
All right.
So basically, if you throw me in a jungle,
You're gonna bury yourself with that argument. Be careful. Be careful.
Me?
Yes,
Let
you're gonna
him
bury.
make
I know the argument. Can I?
I know you do.
Okay, well, you understand?
Okay.
Okay, well, let me
okay,
just
what's the argument?
say it. If you throw me in a jungle and I don't have a Bible, I will know there's one God, but I'll never conclude he's a Trinity. See, he's going to ask me something similar. He thinks I haven't heard it, but go ahead, ask now.
Yeah. No, it's exactly that.
Say it again. That was the question.
Basically. Yeah.
Good.
So can I ever?
You just buried us.
Can I? Why?
Go ahead. Make your argument. Go ahead.
Yeah. So can I ever come to a conclusion of the Trinity if I have nothing, basically?
Yeah, you just buried Islam. I want you to thank you for destroying Muhammad and your God. Why? Did you guys hear it? So, guys, he just said.
Can I predict what you're gonna say?
Repeat? Can I answer you now? You want to talk?
No. I want to do the same. I want to do the same thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I just want to.
Hold on. Let me do it. Guys, he just said, if you leave me in a jungle and I don't have any Christians or anyone, I will see from creation there's one God, but I'll never conclude there's a Trinity. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Let's see how smart you are. So you're telling me just looking at creation, I'll know that God is one, but I'll never come up with the Trinity, right?
Yeah, you won't come to the conclusion of the Trinity.
Then how the hell did they come to the conclusion of the Trinity?
No, what's that got to do with Islam?
I'm answering your question. Listen, if people left on their own will never come up with the Trinity. Einstein, how did the Christians come up with the Trinity? Because you just said left on their own, they cannot come up with it. So how did they come up with it?
The Council of Nicaea.
How did they come up with it?
They had a look. I swear I don't know anything about
so then
history. No. But is it the Council of Nicaea? They had a meeting.
Man, I want to just listen to yourself. If men cannot come up with the Trinity, but you just said men came up with the Trinity. So can they come up with the Trinity or not?
Can they come up with the Trinity with the Bible?
Did you remember what you said earlier? If you leave men alone, they'll never come up with the Trinity, but they'll say God is one. But now you're saying men did come up with the Trinity. So that means you contradict yourself. That means men can reason.
No. Can I tell you why?
You're trying to torture me with this guy?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So I'm talking without even Jesus existing. I'm talking, forget Jesus.
Forget Jesus. Okay.
Yes.
So you're telling me that you need Jesus to reveal the Trinity. You just buried yourself.
No. I'm talking. First of all, the Trinity was.
You just made my case. You just proved that it's because of Jesus that they understood the Trinity, which means Jesus revealed the Trinity. Because if there was no Jesus, they wouldn't know about the Trinity.
Before Jesus, what did people believe?
Can we go to the next
what did people believe? What did people believe before Jesus?
In the Old Testament, they believed that the one God of Abraham was more than one person. The Jews, that's God, the angel of the Lord, and the Holy Spirit. You see, you don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
And my first question is about the Trinity. It's on John 10:29.
Yeah.
And John 10:30. So when Jesus says nothing placed into the Father's hand can be taken out, and I and the Father are one.
Yep.
And when he's on the cross and he says, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit, is he giving himself into his own hands? Like, is he committing the spirit?
No, Jesus is not the Father, so I don't know what you mean.
So
okay,
I and the Father one doesn't mean they're the same person.
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you with this. All right. Open up John 17. The word one doesn't mean they're one person. In fact, the verb are is plural. It's we are. We are one, because you start at 29. You need to start at 27. you need to, but here, let me show you how the word one is used. Read John 17:11. And then he says, they are one as we are one, Father, you and I. So just like we're one, but I'm not you, you're not me. Jesus and the Father one, but not the same person. So you're having a wrong understanding of what one means. One there means that the Father and the Son are united in their will and power to save believers, but they're not the same person.
Okay. Okay. And then my second question about the Trinity is part of the doctrine of the Trinity is believing that they all have the same will.
Yeah, let me share with you a little bit about church history. It's going to get complicated. See, I try to be fair. If you go with the Byzantine, Chalcedonian division, I'm not trying to impress you, but you got to, when you get into Trinity, you're going to have to study the history. There are Catholics, Orthodox, and Protestants who believe that because Father, Son, Holy Spirit have the same nature, their will is one, because the will is an extension of nature. So if they have one nature, they have one will. But because Jesus then has a human nature, then he has a human will. So if he has two natures, two wills. However, you have other Christians that you may not have heard of. They're also very old and ancient, and they're still around. And these Christians are like the Coptic Christians. They're called Miaphysites. They would tell you that the will is not part of your nature. It's part of your personhood. So if you're a person, you have a will. You with me there?
Yeah.
So if the Father is a person, and the Son is a person, and the Holy Spirit is a person, that means they have to have three wills because a person has a will.
That's how four wills. That's four wills, right? Because Jesus has two wills.
Well, yes. No, I'm sorry. No, wrong. No, it's only one will because they don't believe will is a part of nature.
So it's all one will.
Meaning if Jesus is one person and the will is a part of your personhood, then you would have one will, because after the incarnation, the two natures are inseparable, so they make one composite nature, one composite will. That's how they...
And that one composite will does not differ from the Father's.
Well, because Jesus is one divine person, he's inseparable from the Father and the Spirit, so his will always align itself with the will of the Father. Okay. That's how they would explain it.
Okay.
The Western side of Christianity and the Orthodox would say, no, the will is part of the nature of a thing. So if the Father has the same nature of the Son and the Spirit, they have the same will. But then Jesus took on another nature, a human nature, so he has a human will. These are things that Christians have debated, and this is why there's division among Christians. But they all agree, Trinity, Father, Son, Spirit, and Jesus is God in flesh.
Okay.
So I got to be accurate when I represent the groups. I can't just ignore the fact there's Christians. Like if you went to Egypt and talked to Coptics, they would give you a different answer to this.
Okay, that makes sense. But if Jesus has one composite will that does not differ from the Father's, and that's at least what one group believes, or I don't know if that's what you believe.
Yes.
But if Jesus has one composite will that does not differ from the Father's, then how does Jesus saying, Father, let your will be done and not my own, how does that not imply that
it doesn't
they have different wills?
Did you hear my answer earlier or no? Because I answered that one.
How long ago? Because I've been here for a minute, but I don't know how long ago you answered that.
It was a while, but let me repeat it again. That actually wouldn't teach that all. It depends on what you assume. It's because the Father's will is the Son's will that he could say, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me, yet not my will, but your will be done. Because in that he's saying, my will doesn't differ from yours because your will is my will. That's how that would be interpreted.
Okay, that makes sense.
You understand?
Yeah.
That's the way someone who holds to Miaphysitism would interpret it. Now, if we go back, remember I said Orthodox and Catholics say he has two wills? They would say that's Jesus speaking in reference to his human will, which he's going to make subject to the divine will.
Okay.